Hi, today we have Roger Desmarais, and Roger's going to talk a little bit about being an entrepreneur. So Roger, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you become an entrepreneur? What made you do it?
I always wanted to be on my own. I like to be creative. I like to influence people. And I'd had a career before that in teaching, and I was able to do that. And then I was hired by Kaiser to be a regional director for their leaders. But that was mostly training, and it wasn't creative enough. There were too many 9 dots. And then Bechtel hired me in San Francisco to open their organization management development department in Los Angeles. So I was able to get in with some pretty powerful people and realize that they're very technically competent and needed the behavioral aspect, the emotional intelligence. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to go on my own. And if I can get a contract, that'll keep me going for at least 3 months, and at least in that time I should be able to get another one and another one. And so here I am 37 years later, sold my company once, and couldn't wait to get out from underneath because I didn't like the way they managed. I didn't think they were ethical. So as soon as I could get out of my non-competition clause, I started another company. And that's what I've been doing, dealing with leadership and executives through the ups and downs, the successes and failures, and I wouldn't trade it. I've raised my children to think as they work with other companies about starting their own so that they have the seed and kind of the generative quality of the entrepreneur spirit of just being able to see options where other people didn't.
Oh, that's great. That's really good lessons for your kids.
Yes, they're doing very well with it.
What was the toughest experience you had as an entrepreneur?
Walking out the door from Bechtel that first Thursday afternoon, realizing that I wasn't going to have an automatic check coming in. And when I walked out the door and that kind of hit me, and I looked, it was in Norwalk, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. And I looked at the rest of the world and I saw it differently. It wasn't with the framework of the company I was working with. I was looking at it from the perspective of, that's my company. And so I chose, my first company's name was Organization Development, and the second one was Corporate Systemics. And systemics is the Greek word that means the integration. And that's basically what I've tried to do. People, cultures, just to make people work more effectively.
Well, that was actually my next question. Tell us about your company.
My company, it's wonderful because every time we have a new project, we have new people, and it's new. It's not like building another widget. Every person's soul and the way they're put together, their motivations, their expectations, their fears, it's all brand new, and it's so exciting that what we bring to their experience of us and our experience of them is an opportunity or an openness to really listen. And I like a lot of the people that I've hired to work with me have been marriage counselors because they're able to develop trust and get some clarity and quickly get to the real issues, not the presenting issues. Organizations will say, come in, we have a problem of communication. And that's the presenting issue. Then we scratch that deeper and we find out what the real problem is. It's conflict or interpersonal concerns and a lot of other things that have nothing to do with their first lady. So, what I like about my company is that it brings people together with people at a level inside their souls that it allows for a discounting of stuff. We don't have to talk about stuff. We can get to the real issues. And when people come together and are given a safe environment with the permission that somebody's going to facilitate hearing and listening, wonderful things happen. It's like marriage counseling at the executive level. It's really
That's great. So what would be your elevator pitch if somebody said, Roger, what do you do?
You know, it's so hard to, because for you to ask me that, I would kind of want to know where you're coming from, but I can do the stuff thing. And then if you're interested, then I can say, what's really going on? I mean, do you have an issue? Eventually we would get to it. Do you have an issue with yourself and other people? Are you an isolated executive that's lonely at the top? Is it impacting your family life? Because when I deal with executive teams and we spend 3 days together, it's a residential kind of thing. At the end of the first day, we've done some business stuff, and then they start talking about values. At the end of the second day, they want to know, how do I bring my values in my life into my business, impact the bottom line? How can I align all of that? How can I bring some value, congruence to my life at the business level? So that's where I like to go. And it depends on the person. If some people are just asking me, what do you do? I can do here's what I do. And if there's a hook and there's something there behind it, then I can go to that next level to see if they're really there. So there are some people I don't want to work with. They may have a lot of need, but I just don't like the way they look at themselves or other people. Now, I can do the remedial work, but where I am now in my life and my career and my expertise, I can maximize my wisdom quickly. That's why I wanted to get back into teaching at the university, because I want to bring to the young entrepreneurs in the MBA programs who are going to be our future leaders a shortcut to get to the real issues and not the stuff. So.
Yeah, you have a motto on your card that you say, emotional literacy equals interpersonal success. I think that's perfect.
It is.
That really talks about what you do in a nutshell.
Yes, and it's the foundation for all relations, whether it's you and me, spouses, communities, nations, global. That's why I think organizations are able to globalize the world a lot better than religions and politics, which are mostly divisive. People in organizations that are global, that really realize that it's not the business, but it's the value system that they bring that blurs the lines between cultures and ethnicity. They're the ones that are actually going to integrate the world around something as mundane as business, but as profound and sensitive as emotional intelligence.
I think that's great. Thank you so much, Roger. It was really great having you here.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me.